So welcome to Sisters, the story of two best friends that have been best friends for about 7 years. We share lives together, we talk on the phone every 20 minutes. We have been through heartache, we've been through pain, we've been through happiness, we've been through joy, we've been through about everything together. There's nobody else in the whole entire world that would ever want to confide in other than my best friend Ricky. So this is a show about us. It's that plain and simple. We may have never found love, we may have never found fame, we may never have found fortune, but we found each other. And in this world that is destructive and icky and gross and evil, at least we've got each other, and that counts for something. Oh, I wonder who that is.
Is that muscle guy?
No, it's my best friend Ricky.
Why, hello, Frankie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I've missed you. It's been at least 20 minutes since I've talked to you.
Well, I would say so. What's new?
Well, what are you doing right now, darling?
I'm filming a TV show, and I was saying very many praises about you because, let's face the facts. In this dirty, icky world, all we've got is each other. No man has stuck around long enough for either of us or even cared.
It's true. Well, where are you? Maybe I should come join you.
Well, I'm in Linwood, out in the small, quiet country community of Linwood, Washington, just 16 miles north on I-5.
Well, you just continue with your monologue there in Linwood, Washington, and I will be there in 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you. See that? It's been at least 20 minutes since I spoke to Ricky, and there he is on the phone, just checking to see what's up.
Well, excuse me. Hello, you startled me. You caught me meditating in the woods. I'm Ricky, as you know, and this is Sisters, and I often take some time to come to the country in a nice quiet setting like this, with a campfire roaring in the background and me snuggled up in my tent, waiting for a man to come and find me? I don't know what that noise was. It might have been a rapist or a lumberjack. Anyway, I like to come here sometimes to get back to my roots, really, or have somebody come on my back in the roots. Whatever, but I'm glad you could all join me, and I hope you stick around for the next 20 minutes or so. I'm sure my sister Frankie is around here somewhere. We'll get together and tell y'all some real good campfire stories. Maybe roast a weenie or two. Be talking to you real soon. Okay. Of sisters, there were never such devoted sisters. Oh, welcome to the camping episode of Sisters.
Oh, it's so cold out here in the wilderness.
Oh, thank God we have a roaring fire going in the background to keep us delicate city girls.
Too bad it's a fire and not a man.
Oh, well, sometimes men are on fire, you know what I'm saying?
Only when they've got herpes.
Speaking of herpes, who wants a hot dog?
I do!
Now, one of the most important lessons when you are a single girl in the country... Oh, did you see that lightning? Oh, there it is again.
Did just my light get...
Oh! What's going on? It's a lightning storm. It's a freak lightning storm in the country. Hey. So, one of the most important lessons when you're a single country gal out in the wilderness with nothing but a fire to keep you warm is how to eat. Now, we wrangled up into the woods and we caught us some ballpark franks. Now, these are wrapped up just like any good frankfurter should be, so you have to pop the seal and get it right out there. Now, you whip out your frank and you hold on to it tight. These things can get away from you, ladies. Trust me. Then you
They've gotten away from me for years.
It's true. They always run screaming from her.
Wah, wah, wah.
Can I offer you a wiener, darling?
Sure.
One wiener for you.
Do you go like this?
Well, it depends on what the person's into. But I just stick them however I want. Now, that is one way. The other way to do it is this way. Now, these are a couple of properly skewered wieners. And these are bar parks. Unlike some men, they plump up when you cook them.
Now, what goes on next, Ricky?
Well, the next important lesson is to cook them. Frankie? Frankie? Stop sniffing your wiener. She has a problem with that. Now, all you have to do, girls, is you need to hold it over the fire. You need to get it nice and warm and hot. Now, while we roast our weenies, Frankie,
Yeah?
will you tell us a story?
Well, I've got one scary story.
A scary
Now,
story.
I live in Linwood, Washington, which is just 16 miles north of Seattle, which is basically out in the wilderness, even though there's I-5 that connects the whole entire thing, and it takes 20 minutes to get downtown, but that's beside the point.
It's still the wilderness.
There was a rapist,
A rapist?
in Linwood, yes.
Oh!
And he never visited me, and I was real sad. He sounded gorgeous. He was 6'2", blonde hair, blue eyes, in his early 20s, and apparently he wasn't actually raping the women. He was just crawling in bed with older women and snuggling next to them.
Oh, he was performing community service.
I know, I was so lonely. I let my doors open. I stood with a wig and a dress just waiting for him to come, and he never did.
Well, now, what kind of women was he cuddling up with, Franktina?
Older women in their 50s.
In their 50s. I'm so surprised he didn't stop at this place more often.
I know! I even screamed out, "My pills! My pills!" And it still never worked out.
Oh, now let's check on our wieners. Take it out of the fire. Are they smoking? Are they
Mine
charcoal?
smells like chemicals.
Mmm, delicious. Just like growing up in the city. Not quite as dangerous as those New York City vendors you might come across.
Ow, it hurts my hand though.
Oh, it's because she's delicate. I've got a little bit of ash on mine. We're just going to wipe that off. It's like a bad trick.
He's used to wiping things off wieners.
Oh, it's true. Sometimes you just got to wipe off the layers and get to the good center. You know what I'm saying? Cheers to that one, sweetheart. Cheers. to that one.
Amen. It's true. It's true. Ricky,
Yes, Frank.
so it's true that these plump when you cook them.
Yes.
Do all wieners plump when you cook them?
Well, I like to believe that all wieners plump when you cook them, but sometimes, Frankie, sometimes this is really, really hot. I want you to know that right now. And my wiener, it's getting a little black.
It still tastes like chemicals, Ricky.
I do. Just keep eating. That's what Mama used to tell me back when we were growing up by the oil refinery. She would say, if you eat enough of it, your taste buds go numb. So anyway, mine's turning black because I was saying, oh, the black ones usually do plump when you cook them. I love them. But sometimes they're really hot. So I have an idea. Frankie,
Yeah?
let's
Ricky.
here. Let's roast it. This is the gentle, slow cooked way. This is how Mama used to cook our food. It's true. Back when the power would go out, we'd have little campouts in the middle of the living room, and we would roast our weenies over candlelight. It was really romantic. Mama and Papa would sing.
Romantic.
Oh,
Like the wind.
oh. Excuse
Ricky,
me.
I'm kind of frightened out here in the wilderness.
Frightened? Mm-hmm. Well, sweetie, tell me what you're frightened of.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my.
And
And
Egyptians.
Egyptian
Kings.
There's so many Egyptians around here.
And I mean, I don't know.
It's
I'm
the
scared of
pharaohs.
everything.
Ooh, ooh.
No!
What was that?
No!
What was that?
It was.
It was just the owls. It was just the owls. The thing that I get afraid of in the forest, especially when you're two beautiful, young, single...
Alone. Single, 'cause we're
single.
sisters.
Single.
Because we're sisters.
What's your MySpace? Give it out again.
FrankieSeattle.com.
FlameCourtW@gmail.com. When you're two single sisters
Out in the wilderness
out in the
alone.
wilderness with no man to take care of you.
It gets frightening.
It's paparazzi. Could have been where I was going with this.
Oh, I think it was the Who. I think that you were used to being on Hollywood Boulevard and people walking down saying, "Who?"
It's true. Who is that? Who is that? Oh, and then the flashbacks begin. Does it still taste like chemicals?
I really want to eat this though, actually.
We're gonna move on to the next important culinary lesson because I am a chef. The next part will be all about putting it in the bun.
Which will take place in just a few minutes.
Stay tuned. Okay.
Ricky, when you disappeared for about 20 minutes, I heard a loud
Yes?
noise out in the wilderness. What happened?
Oh, well, I had walked out into the wilderness to powder my nose, as it were, because I'm a classy lady. And, well, I stumbled upon a little leopard out there.
A leopard out in
in Linwood, Washington.
In Linwood, where we're camping.
I know, out in the wilderness in Linwood. And I said, well, Mr. Leopard, I certainly do like your coat. And he said, you can have it.
Oh, because we are for animal rights.
It's true, and I would never want to kill just for the sake of killing. I only kill for fashion.
Right.
And he left me, he was a little bit small, but beautiful on me, and keeps me warm. Since I don't have a man, since I'm single, we're single and young. Flash that MySpace again. What is it?
It's www.com, myspace.com, Frankie Seattle is mine.
flamecourtw@gmail.com. Yes.
That was so nice of him to give you the coat because it looks absolutely stunning on you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
Ricky, since you're the professional with wieners, what do we do with these ones?
Well, sometimes. Oh! So, after you have your wieners roasted, now do you know what it's time for, Frankie?
Putting it in the bun, maybe?
Oh, that's my favorite part.
Into the bun.
Into the
Wiener
bun.
Into a bun.
Now, if you'll just hold my wiener for 1 second.
It's kind of weird because we're sisters.
Yeah, but we're close. It's okay. Oh! Do you see how fast she took it off there? Please. Now, you need to get out 2 fresh, soft, yet
Firm, because you want to make sure that they're nice and firm. There's a little story about more pushing for cushion, which is actually good, but firm is really nice too.
Now these buns feel nice. Pet the buns.
Oh, those are nice and fresh. I'd
Oh,
say that they do at least 30 squats a week.
Mm-hmm.
I do 100 squats a week.
Now this is like a good set of twins. You just rip them apart. Now then, some people just like to pry their buns open. Pry it open! Just willy-nilly, here we go, shove it in. That's not the way to do it. I'm telling all of you tops out there.
No, no, no.
That is a culinary do not do. What you have to do instead is you need to love the bun. You have to be nice to the bun. Sometimes you have to lick the bun. Oh! But that won't be on this show. And then you slowly caress it and oh, it opens up. Now then you gently place the bun in the wiener.
Wiener in the bun.
Wiener in the bun. I get confused. I'm pretty. Now sometimes you have to put the bun in it.
What? It's not working?
Why isn't my wiener going in the bun?
I can tell you why. Because you haven't naturally lubricated it with ketchup or whatever you're using.
Wah, wah, wah.
Make sure you apply a generous amount of lubricant.
There it is.
On the hot dog.
And then it slips right in. Oh, look at that. Happy, delicious.
No tears, no mess, no fuss, and no muss.
Now, Frankie, would you like to give it a try?
I sure would.
I'll put my bun down for just 1 second
Okay.
on the forest floor.
Now, just to let you know, sometimes buns are tight.
Tight? Well, why don't you tell us about the tight buns, Frankie?
Because even though it's common myth that they're not going to be tight, sometimes they still can be tight.
Common myths? Who would spread such things?
Liars.
Liars. Bun for your wiener?
Please.
Oh, there you go. Now, what were the lessons I taught you?
Oh, I almost messed up. Take the wiener off the stick,
There it is.
and then you open the buns gently, because sometimes it's been a while since anything's been in the bun, and you've got to be cautious. And actually, you've got to do tender love and care, because it doesn't matter how much the bun seems to have been used. Quite often, it hasn't been used nearly that much.
And you might notice she tore her bun on that one.
Yes, which could lead to a trip to the clinic and lots of stitches. Gently, no tears.
No
and
tears.
And then you
Oh.
add the...
Your bun's falling apart.
Honey, it fell apart a long time ago. That's the problem. Wah, wah, wah.
Now, it's only polite in these situations to ignore the tears and the falling apart.
And act like you don't realize that that the bun's falling apart.
The bun's only 18 years old. Only 18. Lubricate! Lubricate!
Lubricate it, even if it's falling apart. And old and tired and crusty.
Oh,
But still trying.
That's
still trying.
Still trying.
God,
That's
still
the good
trying after
sound.
all these years.
There it is.
And then you take the wiener, you put it in the bun, and you pretend that it's the freshest bun ever, and it fits absolutely perfect.
Everything. So smooth, too. How do you do it?
Natural, I guess.
Oh. Sometimes there's a little bit of mess when you put the wiener into the bun, but most of the time you can ignore that. It's okay.
Yes, it's natural.
Exactly.
So there you've got it. We've got 2 hot dogs and 2 buns and 2 happy campers.
Lots of lubrication. Eat up, Frankie.
I love these hot dogs. Delicious.
That is so good. We will be back after a short break and we eat these wieners. Thanks for joining us at the campfire. It's disgusting.
Ugh.
Yeah. Just put that in there. Well, it looks like another show is coming to a close.
Oh, it's so sad.
Oh, it is. But you know, I've always had trouble sleeping.
I knew that about you.
It's true, it's true. I was traumatized as a young child, but I mean, we'll talk about that in the psych episode.
That's neither here nor there.
Exactly. But since my traumatization, I can never go to sleep without a bedtime story. And Daddy?
Ricky?
Daddy?
Why don't I tell you a story that'll make you go to sleep real good?
Oh, tell me a real pretty story, Daddy.
So once upon a time, many years ago in the 1800s, out in England.
England? Where's England, Daddy?
England's near Kentucky. There was a big castle, and the castle was beautiful, 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 and there once lived a princess. She looked a lot like you, actually.
A princess? Did
She had highlights in her hair and a constant 5 o'clock shadow.
She must have been beautiful.
She was gorgeous. Now, she lived in this castle all by herself, and every day she'd cry. She'd cry and cry and cry because her mean father kept her away from the only man that she ever loved.
Mean Daddy, no Daddy, no Daddy, no!
Now, most people think that a princess would fall in love with a prince, but it's not true.
Not true? It's not
No!
true?
She fell in love with the peasant boy, the one who brought her water and her tea and her sugar.
Oh.
And
Every girl loves the boy who brings her some sugar.
and he was gorgeous, and she was in love with him.
He was
And
gorgeous?
He was gorgeous.
What kind of gorgeous? How gorgeous?
Well, he was 6'2" with dark hair and brown eyes. He was of Latin descent.
Latin descent. What was his MySpace, Frankie?
I'll get that to you later.
Okay. Continue, Daddy, continue.
Anyway, but he loved her too. And her father never understood the connection between the two of them.
Oh, really? Because she was rich and he was poor, and she was beautiful and he was a dirty, dirty peasant boy with rippling biceps.
Ooh, and muscles that could go on for days.
Oh! Ride it! Saddle! Right! Clean the saddle! Clean it, Daddy! Clean it! Anyway, Daddy, continue.
Anyway, the point of the story
Yes.
is the princess was in love with this man who was a peasant boy, and the father never understood. But every day when he would come up and serve her tea and coffee, they would have long conversations. There was a connection that nobody else could ever explain.
And what happened in the end, Daddy?
Well, what happened in the end was the father found that peasant boy and hired him.
Hired as a houseboy?
No, to train to ride horses and teach the princess to ride the horses too.
Oh!
And they fell in love, and the father decided that everything was okay and that they could be in love together, and they lived happily ever after.
Well, isn't that a cute little Hollywood ending? Oh.
And
Now,
he died of cancer. 2 years after they married, he died of cancer.
testicular cancer.
Yes,
They
from riding
fell
her
off.
too
They
much.
fell off. That's the lesson. Don't ride. If you're a girl, don't ride those penises. Only if you're a man. Now I can relax. Frank and I are gonna go to bed now and have dreams of princes and horses and stallions and riding and testicular cancer. So, good night, boys and girls.
Good night.
Keep it just. This is a modern.
We love
test.
you.
We love you. Good night. Good night. Good night.